This is the Battle of Stalingrad, the bloodiest battle in human history. A fight so brutal, so desperate, that it destroyed two armies and killed over 2 million people. Soldiers, civilians, everyone. A battle where men fought for individual buildings, for single rooms, for staircases, where the average life expectancy of a Soviet soldier was 24 hours. Where German soldiers froze to death in their positions and no one moved the bodies because there was nowhere to put them. Where the city was bombed so heavily that it ceased to exist. Just rubble, and men killing each other in the ruins. To understand Stalingrad, you need to understand why Hitler wanted this city so badly. Summer 1942, Germany is deep into the Soviet Union. The initial invasion, Operation Barbarossa, pushed hundreds of kilometers into Russia, but the Germans didn't win. They captured territory but they didn't destroy the Soviet army. And now, in 1942, Hitler needs oil. Germany's war machine runs on oil and the Caucasus oil fields are the prize. Control those, and Germany can continue the war. Lose them, and Germany eventually runs out of fuel. Stalingrad sits on the Volga River. It's a major industrial city. Factories, railways, river traffic, but more importantly, it's named after Joseph Stalin. For Hitler, capturing Stalingrad isn't just strategic, it's symbolic. Taking Stalin's city would be a propaganda victory, a humiliation. For Stalin, losing the city that bears his name is unacceptable. He issues Order 227, not one step back. Any soldier who retreats will be shot. Any commander who allows retreat will be shot. Stalingrad must be held, no matter the cost. August 23, 1942. The battle begins. The Luftwaffe bombs Stalingrad with over 1,000 aircraft, the largest bombing raid of the Eastern Front. The city burns. Entire districts are flattened. Tens of thousands of civilians die in hours. The Volga River fills with bodies. People trying to escape, drowning, burning. The city is hell before the ground battle even starts. Then the German 6th Army arrives. 300,000 men, commanded by General Friedrich Paulus. They push into the city. The Soviets fight back. 62nd Army under General Vasily Chuikov. The fighting is unlike anything either side has experienced. This isn't open warfare. This isn't tank battles in fields. This is urban combat, street by street, building by building, room by room. The Germans call it Rattenkrieg, rat war, because that's what it feels like. Fighting in sewers, in basements, in ruins, you can't see more than 50 meters. Artillery is useless because everything is already destroyed. Tanks are death traps in narrow streets. So it becomes infantry war. Close quarters, grenades, bayonets, shovels, men fighting and dying for a single apartment building. One building becomes legendary, Pavlov's house, a 4-story apartment building near the center of Stalingrad. Sergeant Yakov Pavlov and a small group of Soviet soldiers occupy it in September 1942. The Germans attack, again, and again. For 58 days, Pavlov and his men hold this one building. They fortify it, plant mines around it, set up machine gun positions. The Germans throw everything at it. Infantry assaults, tank attacks, artillery. The building is half destroyed but Pavlov's men don't leave. They hold, and the Germans can't take it. Pavlov's house becomes a symbol. If a small group can hold one building for 2 months, the city can be held. Soviet commanders use it as proof that determination matters more than numbers. The battle for Stalingrad becomes hundreds of these small battles. Every building a fortress, every street a killing ground. October 1942, the factory district. Stalingrad has 3 massive factories: Red October Steel Plant, Barricady Gun Factory, and the Dzerzhinsky Tractor Factory. The Germans need to capture these to control the city. The Soviets need to hold them to keep supplies coming across the Volga. The fighting in the factories is apocalyptic. Workers fight alongside soldiers. Battles happen on production lines. Tanks roll off assembly lines and drive straight into combat. Men fight in furnaces, in chemical plants, breathing toxic fumes, surrounded by fire. The casualty rates are insane. A Soviet division crosses the Volga with 10,000 men. A week later, 1,000 are left. The Germans suffer similar losses. Entire battalions wiped out taking a single building. Replacements arrive and die within hours. The life expectancy of a Soviet soldier arriving in Stalingrad is measured in hours. Some don't survive their first day. November 1942, winter arrives. Temperatures drop to -20, -30 degrees Celsius. The Volga starts to freeze. Resupply becomes harder. Men freeze in their positions. Frostbite is epidemic. Soldiers lose fingers, toes, ears to the cold. But the fighting doesn't stop. It gets worse. Because now you're not just fighting the enemy. You're fighting the cold, and the cold is killing more men than bullets. The German 6th Army is exhausted. They've been fighting for 3 months. They control most of the city, but they can't finish the job. The Soviets keep reinforcing across the Volga. Small groups at night, just enough to keep fighting. The Germans are stretched thin. Their supply lines are hundreds of kilometers long, and they're about to face the biggest surprise of the war. November 19, 1942. Operation Uranus. The Soviet counterattack. While the Germans are focused on Stalingrad, the Soviets have been building up forces on the flanks, north and south of the city. Weak points in the German line held by Romanian and Italian troops. The Soviets attacked both flanks simultaneously. Over 1 million men, thousands of tanks. The Romanian and Italian lines collapse immediately. The Soviets push through, and 4 days later, they meet behind Stalingrad. The German 6th Army is encircled. Trapped, 300,000 men surrounded in and around the city. General Paulus requests permission to break out, to retreat while there's still time. Hitler refuses. He orders Paulus to hold Stalingrad. Göring, head of the Luftwaffe, promises to supply the 6th Army by air. 500 tons of supplies per day. Enough to keep the army fighting. It's a lie. The Luftwaffe can't deliver even 100 tons per day. The weather is terrible. Soviet fighters shoot down transport planes. The 6th Army starts to starve. December 1942. The encirclement tightens. German relief attempts fail. The 6th Army is dying. Not from combat, from starvation and cold. Rations are cut to 200 grams of bread per day. Then 100 grams. Then nothing. Men eat anything. Horses, dogs, rats, leather. Some resort to cannibalism. Medical reports document it. Frozen corpses with meat cut from them. It's that desperate. The wounded are the worst off. There's no medicine, no anesthesia. Amputations are done with saws. No painkillers. Men scream until they pass out or die. Hospitals are overwhelmed. Wounded soldiers lie in the snow outside because there's no room inside. They freeze to death waiting for treatment that never comes. January 1943. The Soviets offer surrender terms. Paulus refuses. Hitler has forbidden surrender. The battle continues. But it's not really a battle anymore. It's an execution. The Soviets crush the pocket systematically. Artillery pounds German positions. Infantry assaults overwhelm the defenders. The Germans have no ammunition, no food, no hope. They fight because they have no choice. January 31, 1943. Paulus surrenders. Hitler promotes him to field marshal hours before, hoping he'll commit suicide rather than be captured. No German field marshal has ever surrendered. But Paulus chooses life. He surrenders. The remaining German forces collapse. By February 2, 1943, all resistance ends. Of the 300,000 Germans surrounded, 91,000 are taken prisoner. Most are wounded, sick, starving. Only 5,000 will survive Soviet captivity and return to Germany after the war. The casualties at Stalingrad are almost incomprehensible. Total deaths, estimated at 2 million. Maybe more. Soviet military, 750,000 killed. German and Axis forces, 400,000 killed. Civilians, hundreds of thousands. The exact number will never be known. The city is obliterated, not damaged. Obliterated, 90% of the buildings are destroyed. There are more ruins than structures. The Volga is full of bodies. The streets are full of bodies. Bodies frozen in the snow. Bodies buried in rubble. Bodies that won't be recovered for years. Stalingrad changes the war. Before Stalingrad, Germany is winning. After Stalingrad, Germany is losing. The myth of German invincibility is shattered. The entire Sixth Army, one of Germany's best, is destroyed. The loss of 300,000 men, thousands of tanks and vehicles, aircraft and equipment, is a blow Germany never recovers from. The Eastern Front becomes a slow German retreat, all the way back to Berlin. For the Soviets, Stalingrad is vindication. They held. They won. The strategy of not one step back worked. But the cost is staggering. Soviet casualties are higher than German casualties. The city is destroyed, but they won, and that matters. Stalin uses Stalingrad as proof that the Soviet Union will never surrender. That they will fight to the death. And they do. After the war, Stalingrad is rebuilt. Renamed Volgograd in 1961 during de-Stalinization. But everyone still calls the battle Stalingrad. The ruins are cleared. The bodies are buried in mass graves. Monuments are erected. The battle becomes legend. The greatest battle of the Great Patriotic War. The turning point. The moment the tide turned. There are stories from Stalingrad that are hard to believe. A Soviet sniper, Vasily Zaitsev, credited with over 200 confirmed kills. Hunting German officers in the ruins. A duel with a German sniper that lasts days. Soviet soldiers crossing the Volga under fire, knowing most won't make it. German soldiers sharing a single piece of bread among 10 men. A Russian winter so cold that men's breath freezes in their beards. But the diary entries are what make it real. Soldiers on both sides kept diaries, writing by candlelight in frozen bunkers, documenting the horror, the fear, the slow realization that they're going to die. German soldiers writing final letters home. Soviet soldiers writing about comrades who died beside them. These aren't statistics, these are human beings. Young men, far from home, dying in a city most of them had never heard of before the war. One German soldier writes in late January 1943, "I can no longer feel my feet. We have not eaten in 3 days. The Russians are 100 meters away. They're waiting for us to die. I think they're right to wait. We have nothing left." A Soviet soldier writes, "We found a German position today. All dead, frozen. They looked like statues. We took their coats. We needed them more than the dead did." Stalingrad, the bloodiest battle in human history. 2 million dead, a city destroyed, 2 armies annihilated, all for a piece of ground that meant nothing strategically and everything symbolically. Hitler wanted it because it was named Stalin. Stalin defended it because it was named Stalin. And 2 million people died because 2 dictators refused to back down. The battle proved something terrible about modern war. That technology makes killing industrial. That cities can become slaughterhouses. That soldiers will fight to the death if ordered. That human life means nothing when ideology and pride are at stake. Stalingrad wasn't just a battle. It was a preview of what total war looks like. And it's horrifying. Today, Volgograd has monuments, museums, the Mamayev Kurgan Memorial with its giant statue. Tourists visit. They walk through exhibits showing weapons, uniforms, photographs. They try to understand, but you can't really understand Stalingrad unless you read the diaries. Unless you hear from the men who were there, who lived it, who died there. The diary we started with was real, written by a German soldier, found on his body in February 1943. He didn't make it out. Most didn't. Their diaries are all that's left. Frozen moments in time, testimony to the horror, to the waste, to the pointless brutality of Stalingrad. 2 million dead, for one city, for pride, for a name, Stalingrad, the bloodiest battle in history. And a reminder that war, at its worst, is hell on earth.